Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex, formerly known as Chocolex on YouTube, also currently known as buymealexis on TikTok. I can't talk about TikTok in this video without talking about all the events that transpired over this past weekend. Girl, I really don't know what happened. When I first started thinking about how I was gonna do this video, I was in the mindset of not having TikTok, but we still have it. And so, yeah. Okay, so my content creator journey started in 2018. I started here on YouTube, and my niche was natural hair. I used to get a lot of comments on my hair, a lot of questions about my hair. So I thought, what better way to inform the public of the things that I do with my hair than to start a YouTube channel? And so I did just that. I used to love making natural hair content. I really thought that it was a passion of mine. I felt very comfortable talking about natural hair. This was also when my hair was kind of long too. So, homegirl was kind of feeling herself a little bit. I got really consistent. I started posting once a week. At the end of 2019, I found out that I got into grad school. So I moved. I'm from South Carolina. I moved from South Carolina to Georgia. It was just 2 hours. I was in Atlanta, or actually a suburb of Atlanta. And shout out to the people who were subscribed to my channel when I lived in Atlanta, because wow, like what a time. Now, we all know what went down in 2020. I moved to Atlanta in January of 2020, and little did I know we would enter a global pandemic just 2 months later. So because I moved, I did have to quit my job. Job market was so freaking terrible during that time. Like, if you know, you know, and if you don't, you're blessed. I was unemployed from January to June, so 6 months. And during this time, I just made videos. I would make videos and do my schoolwork during the day. And then at night is when I would have to log in for class. I got even more consistent. I went from posting once a week to twice a week. Like, homegirl was really putting out these videos. I got monetized in 2020. I also reached 1,000 subscribers in 2020. It took me 2 years to reach that 1,000 subscriber mark. I still remember my 1,000 subscriber. It was Kiana. I don't know if she still makes content. Shout out to her. She was my 1,000 subscriber. It was also around this time, though, that I started to get very discouraged. Like, I was on top. I felt very positive, but in my mind, I felt like I was supposed to be so much further. It was also around this time where I started to compare myself very heavily to all of the other content creators that I was watching. I can't talk about making natural hair content without talking about natural hair as a niche on YouTube. In 2018, when I started, it was a prime time for natural hair. I'd say from like 2014 to maybe like 2019 is when natural hair as a niche was really popping on YouTube specifically. I cannot speak for any other platform. When I started making YouTube content, though, a lot of the other natural hair content creators were already established on YouTube. And it was hard for me to try to navigate, because I'm trying to focus on my platform, do what I need to do to grow, but at the same time, I'm looking at everyone else and what they are doing. Once we hit 2020, I had gotten monetized. I had reached 1,000 subscribers. I really thought, like, okay, things are really about to take off for me, but they didn't. Even though I had accomplished so much, I had also had a few videos that were kind of doing well at this time, I couldn't help but compare myself to everybody else. We all know the saying, comparison is a thief of joy. Like, definitely that. But you don't really realize it until you're actually in it. And so in 2020, I'm looking around at everybody else. I'm seeing girls with these national campaigns. Their faces are on the side of products. Their faces are on websites and in these ads. Girls are buying houses, doing all these things. And I'm just here. My YouTube checks were not large at all. Definitely appreciate the YouTube checks, though. That was extra money that I needed. Like, I was in grad school at the time, so like, yes, give me that. But also, I'm just looking around like, okay, so what's next? I was so focused on trying to get to that next level that I completely just abandon everything that I had going on. The jealousy was very real. The jealousy was running rampant through my mind and body, and it got so bad to the point where I stopped watching all my favorite content creators. It's natural for us to feel jealous, like we are human, but there can be levels to it, and my jealousy was getting to a very unhealthy level because I was constantly comparing myself to them, completely negating the fact that they also had to start off somewhere, that they also had to work their way up, that they also had to build up their platform and work hard and do all these things. Negating all of that, I was just like, I should be where they are. I felt like my content was good enough. I felt like I was doing what I needed to do as far as being consistent and showing up and promoting and doing all these things. We have to talk about the shift that was occurring on social media in terms of natural hair content. So the natural hair atmosphere on YouTube was starting to change. A lot of the girls that were on YouTube way before me, they had started to kind of decrease their natural hair content. They started to venture out and do other things, pretty much lifestyle content, vlogging and fitness and travel. The girls were doing all this other stuff, and I felt like they were kind of taking their audience with them. And as someone who during that time had a very small platform and I wasn't that established, I was in shambles because I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, nobody else is making natural hair content. I felt like I was going to be making content that nobody was really interested in. And so during this time when everybody else started vlogging and doing all this other stuff, I was like, well, I'm going to try to do some of those things too. It did not come natural to me because I was just doing what I saw everybody else doing. I didn't know what I should talk about. I didn't know what I should do. I was so stuck, especially with the vlogging, because I didn't do anything. You know, when you watch vlogs, it's kind of like they have an agenda. They're being productive. They're doing all this stuff. I really didn't know how to do that because I really didn't do anything. Because my niche was natural hair on YouTube, and I got very, very comfortable with natural hair. That's where I was before I joined TikTok. Now, we're going to press play on a TikTok conversation. We had TikTok that was kind of starting to do its thing. Late 2019 and I think 2020, TikTok really started to make its mark as a social media platform. I am a millennial. A lot of people in my generation, we were like, I'm not joining that app. That's a kid's app. It's an app for dances. We're not joining it. But I ended up joining it because to me, it was another form of content. It was another way that I could continue to make content, reach people, grow my platform. And originally, it was my plan to use TikTok to drive engagement to my YouTube channel. A lot of other YouTubers started getting on TikTok. Brands were starting to join TikTok. Everybody was just on it. So I was like, yeah, I need to be a part of this. The goal for me was always to just make content. I moved to TikTok because I didn't really know what to do with my YouTube platform. And over there on TikTok, it was just different. The vibe was different. So I joined TikTok, I believe, at the tail end of 2020. I actually can't remember if I had 2 accounts at one time. I had joined once before and then I deactivated it because during that time, there was a whole lot of speculation about how TikTok treats Black creators as far as the algorithm, not pushing out content. And then I reactivated it. Immediately, I noticed that things were just so different on the app. The vibe was different. Now, we all know the vibe is different across all social media platforms. We know this. Facebook, to me, has never been an app that I use for content when it's for entertainment purposes. My main 2 are going to be TikTok and YouTube. It's always been TikTok and YouTube. Facebook, I think if you're trying to create content on Facebook, it would probably be good for maybe skits and maybe recipes. Other than that, I'm not watching no vlog, no day in the life, no hair video on Facebook. Sorry, but also not sorry. Instagram is the aesthetic app. You have to have the aesthetic. Hair got to be done, face got to be beat. You need to have high-rise apartment. You need to have the home decor. If you can really crack through that algorithm and be consistent on Instagram, I think it's worth a shot. It's just not for me. Twitter, I've never used Twitter for content. Twitter is black and white. It is black and white. Either you're on the good side or you're on the bad side. There's a lot of hatred on Twitter. I really am just on there. Honestly, I've been contemplating deleting my Twitter account because there's so much hate on that app. There's no room for nuance. There's no room for gray. It's literally black or white. Pinterest is not an app that I use all the time, but I am looking forward to starting to post on Pinterest because I think that it can be very chill. Like, I don't know. I could be completely off. But Pinterest has a little bit of everything. And I do feel like we should be utilizing Pinterest more. TikTok is all around a really good app to be on. Now, there's your sides of TikTok. If one of your videos makes it to the wrong side of TikTok, like, God bless you. But if you make it to the good side, you can find your community on there. It is phenomenal. I think it's a phenomenal app. YouTube has always stood the test of time. I think YouTube is really for dedicated people, not just dedicated creators, but also a dedicated audience. Because if you can find your community on YouTube, they are going to stick beside you and they are going to come back. So when I got on TikTok, I was like, wow, this is so much more relaxed than YouTube. Back then, TikTok was only like 15, 30, and 60-second videos. They used to also have a 3-minute option for TikToks, and now they have a 10-minute option for TikTok. But when I joined, it was only like 15. It might have only been 15 and 60 seconds, I think. There was no TikTok shop. There was no monetization program. It was just much more chill than YouTube. See, coming from YouTube, I used to spend all this time editing because YouTube is a long form content app. I would have these long behind video clips. I had to clip them down. You got to find the music. You got to do the thumbnail. You got to write the description. You got to put all your links in there. It's so much work. And a lot of people think that when they say, oh yeah, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, or even if they just want to make content, like period, everybody thinks it's just this easy thing to do, this easy task. It is not. It requires so much work. Although I was not this huge creator, and although I had not worked with a lot of brands, I knew what it was like to be consistent, and I knew what type of work it took to actually build a platform. So I had that experience. So when I joined TikTok, I was like, oh, this is so easy. This is so chill. This is so relaxed. I don't have to do all this work. This was also back when regular, normal people, I shouldn't say normal. Why did I say that? When regular people were going viral on the app, my necklace has been turned. Why didn't anybody say anything? This was when regular people were going viral. You could make a video in your car, and if people agree with you, it would just go viral. It was just so chill. And when I got on there, I was like, wow, I love this so much. I don't have to do all this work. I can just post what I want and go. I don't have to do all this fancy editing. I don't have to think about captions and things I'm going to say. I can really just be myself. When natural hair content started to decline on YouTube, I got very, very confused. And I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing on YouTube. So when I came over to TikTok, it was much more easier for me to not have a niche. And I like that I could just randomly post. Now, a lot of strategists who are well-versed in social media, or people who do this for a living, they're going to tell you that you need to niche down. I never wanted to niche down on TikTok because I felt like I had put myself in a box when it came to natural hair content on YouTube. And so then when I tried to venture out and do different things, it didn't really come natural to me because I was just like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to talk about? But on TikTok, I felt much more confident in doing other things outside of natural hair because it was a short form content app. So I didn't have to put a whole lot of thought and energy into my content. So I joined TikTok. I started posting, and I would just post like random stuff. It could be like me talking. Sometimes I did natural hair videos. Sometimes I do an outfit of the day or a day in the life, just like random stuff. And I felt like I had an easier time building up my platform on TikTok. I felt like I had an easier time building my community and finding my people on there. I felt like I had a much easier time doing that on TikTok in comparison to YouTube. And so when that started to happen, I was like, I like it here so much better than YouTube. I don't think that I want to post on YouTube anymore. So I started to decrease my YouTube videos. I stopped posting heavily. The checks, they were, I was very grateful for the checks, but they were not life-changing amounts of money. I was like, the grass is greener over here on TikTok. Like, I don't really have to post on YouTube. I had gotten very, very discouraged with the YouTube process, even though I was only 2 years in. A lot of your favorite content creators have been creating content for 5+ years. Any of your big name, even people who got their start on TikTok. A lot of big TikTokers, they were on TikTok in 2020 or in 2019. So that's like 5 years, 6 years in. A lot of your favorites, they've been doing this for a long time. And so with me, when I got fed up with YouTube back in 2020, looking back, I was like, you haven't been doing this long enough. You're just getting started, basically. So, but I didn't know that at the time. I was just like, where are my brand deals? I was too focused on everybody else, too worried about what everybody else was doing, when I should have been focused on building my platform and building my skills as a content creator. Because yes, creating content does require skills. A lot of people think that you can just get up here and do whatever you want. And low-key, I do whatever I want. I do. But when it comes to getting people to come back, you got to be a little bit strategic. And sometimes you have to do things that you really don't want to do. So here I am on TikTok. I was able to crack the algorithm, I think, easier than I did on YouTube. I reached 1,000 followers on TikTok way faster than I did on YouTube. Had a couple videos to reach 1,000 views. I think my first video that actually did pretty well was like at 16K, and I had only been on TikTok for like a few months at the time. I just eventually stopped posting content on YouTube altogether. That was a mistake. I can say that confidently now, and it took all this time and a ban that lasted for 12 hours or something like that. It took all of that for me to realize that, girl, you should have just been doing both. You should have been doing both. I always tell people I abandoned my YouTube channel for TikTok, because I did. You abandon your YouTube channel because things were looking greener on TikTok. I think that I did myself a disservice, not just myself, but also to my subscribers, because even though 3,000, I think I'm like at 3.3 on here. I know that doesn't seem to be a lot to a lot of people, but it's a lot to me. I should have treated it as such during that time. But I'm telling y'all, when y'all see something and it looks good from afar, it's like you have your mind set on that thing, and it doesn't matter what you have right now. I believe it was Big Sean. He said, the grass is not greener on the other side. It's green wherever you water it. I was not watering my YouTube grass. So, of course, TikTok grass looked greener than my YouTube grass. Now we're going to enter my TikTok era. By like 2021, I'm really, really consistent on TikTok. I'm posting every single day. I'm doing all the things. And it's so crazy because I kind of understood. I'm sorry, they're doing the landscaping downstairs. So like, if you can hear that, I'm so sorry. So on TikTok, I got into the groove of things. I started posting every day. I was doing everything that I needed to do, but I felt like I gave TikTok an easier time than I did YouTube, because I was more understanding of the process. This was also the time, though, when I was on TikTok, my frontal lobe finished developing. And so I think I kind of gained a little sense of maturity and understanding and a little bit more wisdom in regards to this entire process and journey that I did not have when I was on YouTube, because when I started my YouTube channel, I was still kind of young-minded. It was always in the back of my mind that I needed to go back to YouTube. It never came to fruition because I lack discipline. I do think that I am a more successful creator on TikTok, not only because of the numbers, because I do have more followers on TikTok. I was able to get monetized on TikTok, and I've been able to work with brands on TikTok. Not just that, but because of the energy that I was putting into my TikTok content. If I was able to get back consistent and start posting quality content, I think that I could do it on YouTube. So on TikTok, let's go through some of my stats. I'm gonna pop my shit real quick. Right now, I'm sitting at 11.4K. I have 1.3 million likes across all my videos. I've worked with, I think, 3 brands. Oh, my most viewed video on TikTok is like at 2.5 million views. I have another video that's like at 500,000. I think I got like 3 videos that's like at 500,000. When I get on TikTok, I just be like, okay, I'm just about to post whatever I want to post. And if you rock with it, you rock with it. And if you don't, scroll. As it stands now with TikTok, we know what just happened. I fear I need to stop recording until they finish doing whatever they're doing. I'm gonna come back. Hold on. As it stands now with TikTok, we all know what just happened. When I tell y'all that shook me to my core, I was so sad. I just didn't know how to put it into words. The work that I put into building my platform on TikTok, I was so shook. I was like, oh my gosh. And I didn't really know, I didn't really have anybody to talk to about it, because all the people that are like in my close circle, they use TikTok too, but I don't feel like the people that are in my close circle don't really have the aspirations that I do as far as content creation. I was so upset that I would be possibly losing my platform. And that honestly put a battery pack in my back. Is that the saying? When you put the battery in your back? Whatever it is. That was the switch that I needed to say, girl, get back on your shit. I had my YouTube channel sitting over here for all these years that I completely mishandled. I'm taking accountability for that and admitting my wrongdoing. I should have never stopped posting content on YouTube. Breaks are okay. Let me just say that. If you are burnt out, if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you just need a break, even if it's none of those things, if you just need a break, that's understandable. It's necessary to take breaks from content because this starts to feel like a job. It is a job. But the ban really just had me so shook. I said, absolutely not, never again. I will find a way. I'm going to find a way to restore my motivation, to restore my discipline, to restore my consistency, and I need to get back on it. This entire situation was that for me. That was all I needed. I said, I have to get back on it again. I have to get back on it again. I can remember back in 2018, in which I don't even know if any of my subscribers can really vouch. It's been a long time, but I was very consistent back then, and I was so serious. I had a schedule. I used to plan whenever I was going to film, whenever I was going to edit. I used to edit videos on my lunch break in my car. That's how serious I was. And it's so crazy because when you're just starting out, it's going to look crazy. It's going to look crazy to people that don't know you, who don't know what your dreams are, what your aspirations are. It's going to look so wild until you start blowing up. I'm pretty sure me editing content in my car on my lunch breaks look crazy to someone, but imagine if I would have just kept at it, what my platform would be. It wouldn't look crazy. It's not gonna look crazy as soon as you make it. And it's so funny because there's this one video that I have where I think I posted it in 2022, and I said, if I if it was something along the lines of, if I don't build my platform by the time that I turn 30, I'm not going to create content anymore. It was something like that. I don't want to completely give up. I told myself that I was going to keep my YouTube channel until I turned 30. After that, we're going to shut it down. And girl, why would you ever say that? It was a lie. That was a lie. Like, I genuinely love and enjoy making content. Why would I ever stop? Because I don't have a brand deal? Like, sure, I could. I feel like my feelings would still be valid if I wanted to stop. But also, I don't feel like I should stop because I really didn't do as much as I should have. I didn't go as hard as I could. And I do not feel comfortable with completely giving up on content creation, knowing that I did not go as hard as I should have. So as it stands now, what I'm planning on doing with my platforms, both TikTok and YouTube, I'm going to post on both. TikTok is going to be for my short form content. YouTube is going to be for my long form content, obviously. I don't really know if I want to start exploring shorts. I'm not sure that I will, but I might. What type of content am I going to be posting? Whatever the hell that I want. I think that when I was experimenting with posting different types of content back in 2020, trying to vlog, trying to do sit down videos, talking videos and stuff like that, I didn't really have a clear path as to where I wanted to go. I was really just doing it because that's what everybody else started doing. All the other natural hair girlies started jumping ship. I was like, whoa. But I think now that I'm a little bit older and I've been able to look back on things that I did and things that I could do differently moving forward, I think that posting what I want to post, that's just what I want to do. In my heart, like deep down, is what I want to do. Like, I want to post natural hair videos. I want to post sit down videos. I want to talk more about my life, things that I have going on in my life. I want to do vlogs if I'm traveling. I want to document certain parts of my life. I don't have to put myself in a box, but also I don't have to do things that don't feel comfortable to me. A lot of people are going to tell you to niche down. I don't have plans of niching down. I think right now I feel more comfortable with branching out from natural hair. And I think that was a thing. Back then, I didn't really know. What I wanted to do. Now, being on TikTok, honestly, it gave me the confidence and it made me realize that it's okay to not have a niche, but also you don't have to explore topics that don't feel natural to you. So I don't have to do a day in the life if I don't want to do a day in the life. I don't have to post a recipe if I don't want to post a recipe. I don't have to do story times if I don't want to do story times. And for me, I think the time that I took away from my YouTube channel and the time that I spent on TikTok, it really just made me comfortable in who I am as a content creator. So moving forward, I do want to post consistently on both platforms, and I really want to go hard. And it's going to take some work. Sometimes when there are things that we want to do, it comes with a little bit of a challenge, or if it's not simple, everyone just assumes that, okay, it's not meant to be. It's not for me. I can't do it. I don't think that's true. I think a lot of things in life, you have to work for them. It's not going to come easy, especially if you're Black. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry. Building a platform is one of those things where from the outside looking in, like, yes, like these content creators and influencers, all they do is post videos. It's not just that. And you would know that if you actually did post content. We spend so much time looking at all of the people who have done it, people who are still currently doing it, and we try to mirror and mimic the things that they do and kind of like mirror their journey. Everybody has their own specific journey. Everyone's going to have their own obstacles and challenges to go through. And I think that if we just lean more into that, then it will just make the process a little bit smoother. Not saying that's going to be easy, but I can only focus on my platform and things that I'm doing. Before I end this video off, if you are one of my subscribers who subscribe to me at any point in time, any point in time since I started posting on this app, this platform, I appreciate you so much. And I feel like I do owe you guys an apology. So I do apologize for abandoning my YouTube platform because I really should have just stuck at it. And so on this channel, you're going to be able to find a little bit of everything. We're going to do some natural hair videos. We're going to do some sit down videos. And I really want to start making content about just the journey of being a small content creator. I really want to document that because I really want to apply myself and really do what I need to do. And hopefully by the end of the year, I want to be at 5K by the end of the year. I think I can do it. It's going to be a myriad of different things on here, but I like it that way. As for my old content, I thought about privating everything, but I think I want to leave it up because that's just going to show me and show you guys where I came from. When I look back at some of my older videos, I do cringe a little bit. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, like you were just being so extra. But like I was young, you know, I feel like when you're trying to find your foot, trying to get into the groove of content creation, it's like you're all over the top and doing all this extra stuff. That was me. That was me in some of my videos. But I'm gonna leave them up. I'm gonna leave them up so that it can just be a reminder of where I came from. And I think I can make it a 5K by the end of this year. As far as TikTok, I'm going to say I'm at 11K right now. Let's see if I can get to 20K by the end of the year. And I'm going to come back to this video. Yeah, I'm going to come back to this video. And we're going to see if I did what I was supposed to do. So if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I want to thank you so much because I know I've been talking a lot and this is going to hurt me to edit, but it's fine. Everything is fine. This is all a part of the process, all a part of the journey. It is a marathon, not a sprint. I appreciate you guys for sticking with me and stay tuned to see how I transform my platform.